Sonic Advance is a side-scrolling platform game reminiscent of the original Sonic the Hedgehog games released for the Sega Genesis. Players journey through an island to defeat Doctor Eggman, who is attempting to capture its animal population to turn them into evil robots. Players select one of 4 characters, each with their own unique set of moves. Sonic the Hedgehog is fastest and can perform an insta shield that protects him for a moment. Tails can fly or swim for a short time. Knuckles the Echidna can glide through the air, swim above water for a few seconds and climb walls, and Amy Rose can destroy enemies using a hammer. Except for Amy, each character can defeat enemy robots by jumping and curling into a ball, or by performing a spin dash on the ground to gain speed. By entering a cheat code, players can control Sonic while Tails runs alongside him, similar to Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The game takes place over 6 levels called zones. Each zone is split into 2 acts, where the player must guide their selected character past enemies and obstacles, such as spikes and bottomless pits, to reach the end in under 10 minutes. Scattered around acts are springboards, boost pads, and golden rings, which serve as a form of health. Players survive hits as long as they have at least 1 ring, but their rings will scatter and disappear after a short period. Players collect canisters that contain power-ups such as speed shoes, elemental shields, and invincibility. The first act ends when players pass a signpost, and the second culminates in a boss fight with Eggman. After hitting him 8 times, Eggman will flee and drop a capsule of captured animals. Each character starts the game with a number of lives, which are lost when they are hit with no rings in their possession, crushed, drown, fall in a bottomless pit, or exceed an act's 10-minute limit. If all lives are lost, they will receive a game over. Special springs can be found near the top of certain acts. By jumping on them, the player can reach a special stage, where they are sent down a tube to collect rings. If they collect enough rings, the player receives a Chaos Emerald. Collecting all 7 emeralds unlocks an extra boss fight. The game also features a minigame, Tiny KO Garden, where players can raise KO. Players can transfer their KO between the Tiny KO Garden and the KO Garden from the GameCube versions of Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. The game also features a competitive multiplayer mode, where up to 4 owners of the game can race to the end of a level or search for KO. Sonic Advance received generally favorable reviews, according to review aggregation website Metacritic. The game sold 1.21 million copies in the United States, making it one of the best-selling games for the GBA. It earned $36 million by August 2006. During the period between January 2000 and August 2006, it was the 12th highest-selling game launched for the GBA, Nintendo DS, or PlayStation Portable in the United States. The game's presentation was well received. Electronic Gaming Monthly called Sonic Advance the best-looking 2D Sonic game. GameSpot praised its detailed scenery and animation, describing them as solid and faithful to the original Genesis games. Nintendo World Report described its use of graphical techniques as elegant, praising its anime-inspired character animations, and compared them positively to the critically acclaimed Super Nintendo Entertainment System game Super Mario World. The game's music and audio was also praised. GameSpot called it comfortable and catchy. Reviewers also praised the gameplay, with many comparing it favorably to the original games. IGN wrote the game's new ideas, such as the ability to grind on rails, were clever and determined that Sonic felt better on the GBA, rather than the Genesis. All games said the game relied too much on nostalgia, but felt it was still a winning formula and called the game enjoyable. The game's use of the GameCube link cable was praised. IGN noted the replay value and variety it offered, and GameSpot called it interesting and felt it made good use of the GBA connectivity to the GameCube. Certain elements received more mixed responses. GameSpot felt that Sonic Advance lacked polish and criticized the difficult special stages. IGN-only criticism was the presence of problems from earlier games, such as an inviting stretch of roadway that begs to have your character blaze across it at top speed, only to have a spike strip jab you in the feet somewhere in the middle. Nintendo World Report thought the game was too short and criticized the exclusion of the Supersonic replay mode from earlier games. Reviews for the N-Gage version were mixed. GameSpot criticized its choppy frame rate and encouraged readers to buy the superior GBA version instead. IGN agreed and felt the N-Gage vertical screen and omission of the multiplayer modes had a negative impact on the ported version. Overall, reviewers felt Sonic Advance was a solid addition to the Sonic franchise. Nintendo World Report felt the game was not perfect, but was still a game that deserves a spot in your GBA case. IGN agreed and stated the game successfully recaptured the spirit of classic Sonic gameplay while feeling unique and taking advantage of the GBA capabilities.